Are you tired of being in debt? Tired of living paycheck to paycheck? And you have absolutely no idea how to tackle this issue? Well, in this video, I'm going to be giving you 7 proven steps, ones that I even took to get myself out of debt, into financial freedom, and on my path to building wealth. So, if you're ready, let's get into the video. Hey, what's up everyone? Trey here. I'm a content creator and financial consultant, also a United States Special Operations member, and my goal for this channel is to give you the best tips as well as strategies to get you out of debt fast, into financial freedom, and on your way to building wealth. Now, if that sounds like something you might be interested in, please consider subscribing so that you don't miss any valuable and crucial content that will be key in your ability to get out of debt fast and into wealth. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. All right, guys, so here's step number 1. It's the most important, the most crucial step that is often overlooked. And what is that? Change your mindset. Now, what do I mean by that? So today, in 2020, the average individual who is in debt is about $91,000 in debt. In a household, that figure almost doubles to about $147,000 in debt. Now, the studies show that of those people who are in debt, 47% of that debt comes from credit cards. Most individuals have this mindset of, I'm gonna buy what I want today, I'm gonna swipe now and pay for it later. And that is the wrong mindset. Changing your mindset meaning, you know what? I'm going to take control of my finances today. And I'm gonna take the first step to get out of debt. Nothing's gonna happen if you don't do something about the problem, okay? So, reprogramming your mind on how you think about your finances is gonna be pivotal in your ability to get out of debt fast. Step number 2, educate yourself. What do I mean by that? 2020, studies show that 54% of people who are in debt have no idea how much they are in debt. They have no idea of what the total balance is on the amount that they owe. And that is absolutely staggering. People know that they're in debt, but they're afraid to take the first step. They're afraid to know exactly how much they're in debt. And when I say this, I'm speaking about myself. I was that person. I was that person that was about $60,000 in debt, but I didn't want to look at the figures because I knew that if I looked at those figures, I was going to have to do something about it. Until I woke up one day and I realized, wait a minute, life is passing me by. I'm for the most part living paycheck to paycheck, and I'm not enjoying the fruits of my labor, right? So I took the first step. I changed my mindset. And then I went into the second step. I started educating myself on how much I actually owed. And when I figured out, okay, I'm about $60,000 in debt, I was able to build a strategy to get myself out of it. So that's what you have to do as well. Nothing is gonna happen when you sit there and do nothing. When you have no idea how much you owe, it leaves you powerless. It actually has the opposite effect of what people think will actually happen, right? And that's, okay, I know I owe $60,000. Dang, what am I gonna do now? And they start freaking out. That's not what happens. It actually empowers you. It gives you an end state to say, I owe $60,000. What's the strategy? And I make it easy for you. I give you the strategies to get out of debt and begin building wealth, okay? You educate yourself on how much you owe, and then you compile a list of your debt from lowest to highest. Now, we're gonna revisit this step. It's actually gonna come into play in step number 7. Step number 2, educate yourself on how much you owe. Step number 3, holding yourself accountable. Now, what do I mean by that? Studies show in 2020, about 47% of the population have no budgeting plan. Additionally, 39% of couples who end up divorced due to financial reasons. So allow me to give you an example. I have a friend of mine who's married, and he devised a budget. Now, with that budget, He sticks to it, but his wife does not stick to it. Now, this isn't knocking anyone. I'm just giving you an example. She doesn't stick to the budget because she was never properly educated on how to stick to a budget. Holding yourself accountable means, number one, if you're using credit cards, get rid of them. Stop using them because the credit cards is putting you in debt to begin with. Get rid of the credit cards, hold yourself accountable, and build a budget, a real budget, and stick to that budget, all right? And that's gonna be imperative in allowing yourself to become financially free and to build. All right, guys, step number 4, get a side hustle. You need extra money. I know, I get it. I don't have time to get a second job. I work 50 hours a week as it is. I get it, all right? You don't necessarily have to go get a second job. Now, if it applies to you, you actually have the time, you need extra income so that you can put that towards step number 7, okay? So in a separate video, I'm gonna give you 10 examples of different side hustles that you can implement to get extra money, okay? You need extra income. You need something that's gonna give you a push to be able to add towards your debt to pay it off quicker, all right? Step number 4, side hustle. All right, guys, we're almost done. Step number 5, build an emergency fund. A lot of the clients that I've helped along this journey of becoming financially free, which was a bit surprising to me early on, they had no idea what an emergency fund was, or they know what an emergency fund is, but they don't have one. An emergency fund, to put it very simple, is 1 to 3 months of income to begin with, all right? Typically, I like to say 3 to 6 months, but when you're just starting, you need 1 to 3 months of income after tax put into an account, and you don't touch it. You forget that it's there. And that money is gonna cover you should you have an emergency and you need to lean on money that you have there, whether that be medical expenses, whether that be mechanical expenses, whatever the case may be. You can dive into your emergency fund only in an emergency. Listen, I'm gonna come up close to the camera. Only in emergencies. All right, so step number 5, build that emergency fund. 1 to 3 months of income, stick it in an account, don't touch it. And that is going to spearhead your ability to go on to step number 6. All right, guys, so step number 6. It's a very short and simple step. It's saving an additional $100 to $200 per month. Now, I understand. You're like, hey, how am I gonna do that? Well, that was the additional purpose of you getting a side hustle. So the side hustle money, you'll take some of that, you'll apply it to your emergency fund, but additionally, you're gonna apply it to step number 6. Step number 6 spearheads you directly into step number 7, which is starting your snowball. For those of you who don't know what a snowball is, I'm gonna go a little bit further into detail in step number 7, but that basically is the vessel that you're gonna use to pay off your debt. So step number 6, save an additional $100 to $200 per month, and you're going to put that into your debt snowball. All right, guys, so here's the last and final step. Step number 7, as made popular by the one and only Dave Ramsey, is the debt snowball. But I like to say the debt snowball in order to avalanche. So earlier in the steps, we said you're gonna list all of your debt from lowest to highest, right? So we're gonna re-implement this. By listing your debt from lowest to highest, you're gonna pay off the lowest balance first. Then you're gonna catapult to the second, and then the third, and the fourth, until you're at your last piece of debt and it's paid off. A lot of people do this debt snowball incorrectly. And I'm gonna do a separate video on how to actually do the debt snowball the correct way. But to make it very simple, you're gonna take the lowest balance that you have. So let's say it's $1,000 and you have a minimum payment of $25. You're gonna take that $100 to $200 that you have extra. You're gonna apply that along with the minimum payment. So let's say it's $200 plus your minimum payment of $25. That's $225. You're gonna apply that towards your payments for the lowest balance. On every other balance, you're gonna only pay the minimum amount. You're gonna continue to pay this $225 on the lowest balance until it's paid off. So let's say the second debt is a $3,000 credit card with a minimum balance of $75. So you're gonna take the $225 and you're gonna add it to the $75, and that money you're gonna apply towards the payments for the second debt. Now you're gonna apply this to it until that one is paid off. Then you're going to move to the third one. You're going to take the money that you have for the second debt. You're going to add the minimum from the third amount of debt, add them together and apply that towards that one. And you're going to keep doing this. It's called the snowball because your amount that you put towards the debt gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you pay everything off. And eventually, before you know it, you'll be at your last piece of debt. It's unbelievable what the mind can do once you apply yourself. Step number 7. Debt snowball in order to avalanche. All right, guys, I know I said that it was going to be only 7 steps, but I wanted to give you one more to leave you with. If you're anything like I was, you're feeling hopeless, and you're feeling as though you'll just never get out of debt and you don't know what to do. I'm here to tell you that there is hope, because if I did it, you can do it as well. Hope is real. There is hope. All you have to do is take the first step. If you felt as though this video was insightful in any way, please consider subscribing, hit the like button, and also hit the bell so that you don't miss any other content as we drop videos here every week, all right? So I'll see you on the next video.